If you're in the beauty industry, you're going to want to keep listening. Welcome to Salon After Hours, where the tips are on trend, the gossip is hot, and the advice is cutting edge. Grab your tea because we are about to spill it.
Hi there, this is Brianna, and we are here on our next podcast with Mikyla and Kimberly. Let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Mikyla. I'm the content creator for 925, and I'm super excited. We're going to be talking about some fun stuff today.
Yay. I'm Kimberly. I am Brianna's assistant. So I'm glad to be here today and talk about my journey.
Welcome to Salon After Hours. All right, on this episode, we are going to be talking about our journeys as hairstylists and really diving into where we started and being an assistant. Actually, all three of us here started as an assistant and just kind of getting into all those fun details. All right, so we're going to be talking about each other's journeys today. I'll start off with mine and then we can kind of dive into each other's.
Yeah.
After beauty school, I went through a very intense assistant program. And it was basically a program where you had to choose whether you're going to be a color specialist or a hair cutting specialist. You could not do both.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, and the program was 2 years. Like, there was no negotiating it quicker than that. It was 2 years. And so how it kind of worked is it had multiple locations throughout the Bay Area, and you would have to rotate. So every 4 to 6 months, they'd rotate you to one of their 5 locations. No matter what location you were at, every Monday, you would have to go into San Francisco and do a hands-on training of what specialty, which mine was color. And so I would have to provide 3 colors a day on Mondays. And just to give you some insight on how difficult that was. So obviously it's all the way in San Francisco. I grew up in the East Bay, Castro Valley to be exact. And I would have to find models to go into San Francisco every Monday. Yeah. And it would be like, I think a $50 fee for the model, which is not bad, just to cover the products at the time.
Yeah.
But
Find one.
to find one to go to San Francisco, especially where I was living, it was hard. So we would have to model hunt. So, imagine Tuesday through Saturday, we were being assistants. And then on Sundays, I would have to go to San Francisco to model hunt. And of course, I'm looking for models that are wanting to, I'm looking for models. And when I'm telling you I'm looking for these certain models, they'd be like, okay, the grow out needs to be 1 inch, nothing more. It needs to be a medium brown and shoulder length. Okay.
Wow.
Model 2 of the day needs to be a redhead that is middle length. And they're so specific. So then I would go and I would find these models on the streets, literally. I would, yeah.
What?
Yeah. And I would approach them and I'd be like, hi, my name is Brianna. I'm actually going through a color program at this salon here in San Francisco. And I would love for you to come be my model. You guys, you're meeting these people on the streets. Honestly. Yeah. And it's kind of scary.
That is scary.
Right?
Oh my
and
gosh.
so they have no commitment to you. So if they decide not to show up, we would get in so much trouble. Like they'd send us home. Like, you're done. And then you couldn't keep proceeding. And it was really, really cutthroat. And
Oh my God.
Dang.
yeah.
I'm so shook by that.
I know. I feel like I still have PTSD. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
You're
just
getting a little
kidding.
pale, Brie. You okay?
I'm so kidding. The training that I received there was amazing. It definitely has made me the colorist I am today. It also made me, when you guys get to know me more, I'm a very fast-paced colorist. This program also helped that.
Yeah.
Just to give you guys like an insight, you needed to do a balayage in 30 minutes.
Wow.
And I do that now.
Yeah.
But because of that training. So I wouldn't trade it for the world. But when I tell you that I was a slave, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know if I should use that word. But when I tell you that it was really hard and lots of discipline, it was. And some of the techniques there, I don't agree with, like towards young talent. If I would take a bathroom break too long, I would get in trouble.
Wow.
If, they didn't know where I was at, I would get in trouble. They would print out the schedule of the day and most of these stylists would work every 30 minutes on a new client.
That's very stressful.
Yeah, no, it really was. I would have to be like, okay, Kimberly is my client number 1. She's washing out at 12:15. Okay, Mikyla is my client number 2, and she's washing out at 12:30. And I needed to do that. And I needed to do 15-minute blow dries. Like, if you didn't have that client styled in 15 minutes, you're in trouble. Like,
No matter how thick the hair is.
didn't matter.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh.
Did not matter. Yeah, it was very intense there. I remember my interview there, and I remember sitting down. I was super nervous, right? New talent, you're nervous. And I'm like, wow, I'm this like small town girl, and I'm in San Francisco interviewing with a big owner. And she looks at me and she's like, well, what's your name? And I was like, Brianna. And she was like, that works. And I was like,
What does that mean?
Yeah.
I was
That's
like,
interesting.
yeah. And I asked her, I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And she's like, we don't have anybody with the same name. So if your name was already taken, I would rename you right now.
What?
That's like dehumanizing.
It is.
It's a little crazy.
What the
So
concern?
It's like you either fit or you don't, you know?
yeah.
Dang.
But I mean, a long story short, because I don't want to make this whole episode about my journey, but it was very intense. When I tell you that my assistants now, they work very hard. I am good to them though, because I learned what I didn't like from that journey. But I really, really do appreciate that journey, and it has made me the stylist I am today, honestly. So that's just a little bit about my journey as an assistant. And I can't wait to hear about these two, because in that first episode when I like made fun of Mikyla, like, oh, let's get into her journey, because she is a licensed hairstylist. Well, plot twist.
Well, we twisted it up. So I did actually go to cosmetology school, graduated everything. I was really good at it. And Bree just so happened to be my very first experience as an assistant,
Yay.
or me being her assistant. And that was an amazing experience. She was so good to me, and I learned so much through her. She was very like good at teaching, hands-on, and just really wanting the best for me.
Yeah.
And so I went through all that.
Yes.
I did. I got better, got really good. And then I just like, for me personally, I'm a very creative person, and I've always loved like videography, photography. And well, towards the end there, I was like, Bree, how would you feel if I became the content creator for the salon?
Honestly, it was so cute. I remember she's like, I love assisting and I love being with you, and I feel like this is my girl time here. But like, I don't want to do hair. I don't think I do. Like, I have more passion in videographer. So like, will you hire me to be the videographer?
I know, and I felt like just like I failed, but sometimes
Absolutely not.
Sometimes things just lead you in the right direction for a reason, and like I really do think that the reason that I was able to go through cosmetology school and do all these things, I learned a lot of skills, and I was able to like understand more about hair, and I think that that's good knowledge to have, because now I use that for videography and being able to transform that into understanding how to make videos to put together for the beauty industry. So it's all worked out, but being an assistant is very like interesting. I was really nervous to just start that, because you're so like afraid to mess up. I feel like that was something I noticed, was like I was so afraid to mess up that I actually wasn't even allowing myself to have creativity. But then once I got used to it, and like you made me feel more comfortable and I got more confident, I was like, okay, I could see this becoming something.
Yeah.
Is that like where you're at now, Kimberly?
I mean, I can resonate with being nervous of even starting being an assistant at first. That's how I felt too. But you're good at what you're doing, you know?
Thank you.
You can tell that you're passionate about it, and that's very good.
Absolutely.
Thank
This
you.
is Mikyla's thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, if she does decide to come back as a hairstylist, whoever gets in her chair will be blessed, because I mean, I
I'm
know
pretty
I trained a
crispy.
really good
I'm
one.
pretty
so
crispy at it.
yeah, she's very good and very attention to detail, but she is amazing at her videography and photography. So
Thank you. I'm very perfectionist about everything that I do creatively.
Yeah.
It's sometimes not the best, but
A blessing and a curse.
yeah, exactly.
exactly.
What about you, Kimberly?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, starting my assisting program, I actually went to the same school as Bree. I went to the Salon Professional Academy, and
Love them.
ever since that, I knew I wanted to go to assisting right away because I wanted to start my career right away. But I know I needed that more background kind of experience with a mentor to really help me out. So when I first looked at a salon I went into, it was close by me. So it wasn't the experience I was hoping for. I could say the environment made it a little bit more challenging for me to become that stylist I eventually wanted to become. So I had to figure out a different path and look for something else.
What
in a
was the
different direction.
environment? Like what
Yeah, it was just very like degrading, I could say. There's no motivation or like support from your peers and the environment. It just wasn't uplifting,
Yeah.
and that's important to be able to grow somewhere, is having people also seeing that you have potential and lift you up, and I could say that I feel that way here with Brianna and
Aw.
the girls. They just help you and they want to see you grow, and that's something very important. So before that, before I get to that, then I was like, I need to find something else for myself, just because I am passionate about doing hair and the beauty industry. So then I reached out to Bree and I was like, hey, like I'm interested in being your assistant, and we got an interview going and I clicked with her, and then now I'm here. But it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey, and I've learned so much already, and I can't wait to keep growing. So, yeah.
How long have you been doing assisting?
So I started with Bree in October, but I would say since June.
Yeah.
June, I've been assisting. So
Nice.
it's been a journey.
Wow.
It's been a journey, yeah.
Do you feel like your nerves have like gotten better, or like how has the process been as far as like your confidence?
I could say my confidence is there now.
Nice.
I
Nice.
feel like Bree definitely helped me with that as well, just being more trusting myself and really getting in there. So now I could say I'm at a place where I'm good. It's good. It's going good.
She is really good, you guys. She will be hitting the floor soon on her own. I am 38 weeks pregnant now. And Kimberly is going to be taking all my clients while I'm gone because she is capable. She is a stylist. She's ready to go behind the chair. Another tip as like a rental stylist, having an assistant is, we don't get paid time off. Obviously, if you guys can train your assistants to take your clientele while you are gone, that can create you passive income while you're on leave and have more time with your baby. So that's just something that's like a tip that I would recommend. And obviously, once they're taking your clients, then you know where your clientele is. And then when you come back, they go easily back on your books. Because the biggest mistake that happens is people, they will be like, well, I'm going on leave. Peace out.
Yeah.
And then they are like, where'd all my clients go?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can somebody call them all? And like, they need to get back on my books. If you don't set up a plan with those clients and you guys are building for years, they're going to go to whoever can take them. And if they're all spread out everywhere, different salons, getting them back in your chair is going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
So if you can set up a plan, and it's actually worked out great. This is my second baby. My last assistant, she actually got to keep some of my clientele because her schedule started being better and she got on the floor. So that is also opportunity for them.
Yeah.
I could say it also helps as an assistant before getting your own clients, because you've already built a relationship with your mentor's client. It helps out to build that trust and also for your confidence to be there as well. So I could say that really helps before
Absolutely.
being on my own.
Yeah, it probably also helps just like to feel what it feels like to get into that rhythm. You're
Yeah.
like I feel like this is a great opportunity to just like, it's almost like dipping your toe into what it will
Exactly.
feel like.
Exactly.
And then you get to, once she's back, like, then okay, now I start building. I
got a
know what it's
feeling.
like.
Yeah, I know.
You
what
got a
it's like.
feeling you probably gained a few because my schedule is probably going to get more limited. And then you
Yeah.
grow from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Nice. What are some things that you look for when you're wanting to be an assistant? Like, how should you feel when you get to a salon?
Definitely, I would say comfortable, and that I should have paid attention to that, because the first salon, I felt like I just needed to get in there and start working.
Yeah.
But once I realized what I really want from a salon, which is how I said, somebody to seek your best interest as well, not just like a business perspective. And I could say that Brie is very good at that, for caring for everyone and wanting everybody to be okay and love what they're doing in the environment that they're in. So that was definitely like green flag for me.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely that's a good sign to look for if you're wanting to be an assistant, is definitely feeling that comfortableness, right? Walking in that door and even having conversations in the interviews, and feeling that trust,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you learning a lot, like, as far as assisting? Do you feel like you learned way more while you were assisting versus like before school?
Definitely. I would say school is kind of more like they kind of teach you theory and stuff, very
Yeah.
much like books and, oh, this is how you might do things. But being an assistant, it's more like you can really see hands-on and see from the perspective, like on the side, without fully getting into it. But then when you build that trust with your mentor, you might be able to get into it and start doing hands-on, and that helps out a lot as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been good.
Nice.
All right, Kimberly, let's tell them, what is a day in a life assisting? Well, with me, what does the day in the life consist of?
So the day in a life is definitely to check your schedule beforehand. I definitely do that at least a day or two before, just so I know and I'm prepared of who's coming in. And usually we keep notes of what services they might do and the colors that they might have. So I just double check that for before anything to make sure to let Bree know, like, hey, we don't have everything or we do have everything. And that just gets us more prepared for the day, and we won't feel chaos everywhere. So it just helps keeps things organized. But definitely walking in, first we need to get our coffees. Coffees.
Very important.
Yes, first we need to get our coffees and then start the day. And yeah, it's just client hour and hour. It's just fast paced. We gotta go.
What is your typical thing that you'll do? Like, what's your like go-to things, like your job?
I would say definitely
Washing their hair?
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
mean,
girl.
not just washing hair though. It's more of like even learning how to like formulate,
Oh, okay.
learning how to know how to tone hair and knowing the different color backgrounds, and it's just more into it than just washing. Even with blowouts, it's more of like, how can you get that style to last? How can you get that style to be detailed and perfected and for them to feel good walking out,
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I see it.
I
So,
love that.
yeah, it's just very detailed. I
And
would say.
Kimberly is a much more advanced assistant at this point. And so she is right. The biggest thing that I tell my assistants, new assistants, old assistants, what I preach in the industry is, you guys, there are two types of stylists here. There's the type that pulls out the color book and looks at the color and says, that's a pretty color, I'm going to put it on her. Then there's the type that actually knows the backgrounds of the colors and knows what's in them, and oh, maybe I like this color, but to achieve that, her hair looks like this, so I'm gonna have to use different colors. Like, you need to be great at formulation. So that's one thing I really stress. So that's probably why she's talking about formulation, because I'm like, no, you really need to know it. And Kimberly's exceptional at blowouts. So I mean,
Thank you.
Yeah, I see them.
We love them blowouts.
And how is it becoming a therapist?
I mean, it's good. It's good. It's a side job.
it's such a therapist.
Yeah, therapist. But it's good. It's good getting to know people and knowing that you can also help them out with different stuff besides making them feel beautiful. So.
Would you say that you're more introverted or extroverted as like a hairstylist? Like, do you think that matters to be introverted or extroverted? Because
I think so, because you need to be able to be open to have conversations and, getting to know a client. But I would say I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
I would say I'm an extrovert.
I think so too.
Yeah, I
Same.
think so. It's cool.
Yeah.
You get to build friends as well as clients. You know?
I was just curious about that because I feel like that's something that maybe isn't thought about while like considering the job, is because you do need to be talking to your clients, and you might have some that want to be quiet, but majority of the time they're coming in to like have conversations, like bond, vent, cry, laugh.
Yeah, that's
It's all
another
of it.
That's another thing I tell people when they're looking for assistants. What matters to me is that my assistant has a really good relationship with my clients, because when they come into their next appointment, I want them to be like, wow, I can't wait to come see Brie and Kimberly.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the time, especially when they're kind of newer in the first couple months, I'll tell Kim, for example, I'll be like, you need to talk more than I talk to my client in this hair visit. Not only does that help you as a stylist be faster, but it creates that relationship with them, which it's like, what if one day you're sick, or what if one day you do go on maternity leave, or what if your assistant's going to take your clientele? You're setting them up for that. And so that your clients trust your assistant, and that, like I said, they're excited to come see the both of us.
Yeah.
So now you've heard it from us. You've heard it from an assistant herself on what it is like to be an assistant, what you should look for, and then even pointers if you're a stylist, like looking for an assistant, and some tips and tricks on that. So I guess that's going to conclude our podcast.
Yes.
So thank you, Kimberly, for joining
Thank you for
Mikyla
having
and
me.
I. And thank you for listening. Stay tuned to the next episode of Salon After Hours.